I know we talk a lot about this in terms of personal branding, is the importance to find your thing. The thing you want to be known for, your IP, your knowledge, the way you package that up. In the Audacious agency, we talk about it as your UPP, your up. What lifts you up, right? It's your unique profile position. It's how you can be positioned in the minds of your audience or your sector or your industry uniquely.
Welcome to the Find Your Influence podcast with Anton Guinea, where we unpack all things influence and we help leaders particularly find their influence by talking to amazing humans and finding out what influence means to them, who they've been influenced by and who they have influenced. And this podcast episode, proudly sponsored by the Guinea Group of companies. The Guinea Group helps leaders upgrade, upskill, uplift their teams and their influence. Team, here we are. Welcome to the Find Your Influence podcast with Anton Guinea, where we've got an amazing guest again today. We always have amazing guests who are so good giving us their time. We just love having all of these great humans on. And today our great human is Lauren Clemett. Now, Lauren is a highly respected personal branding strategist. If you're looking to up-level your brand, Lauren's your person. Lauren does leadership keynote speaking. Lauren is the founder and CEO of the Audacious agency. And full transparency, we are a client or have been in the past and probably will be again in the future. And the Audacious agency is a specialist profile building and awards consultancy operating across Australia. And when you hear Lauren, you will hear across the ditch accent, which is beautiful. With a career spanning more than 30 years, Lauren, you don't look old enough in brand strategy, advertising, marketing, communications, and leadership visibility. Lauren is recognised as one of Australia's most experienced authorities on credibility-driven brand positioning. Lauren's professional journey began way back in the world of advertising, and Lauren worked across some of the most influential agencies in the Southern Hemisphere, including Saatchi & Ogilvy and Mather and Clemett BBDO. Now, why do all marketing agencies, Lauren, have to have an and in the middle?
Because normally it's a partnership. So
Right.
Saatchi brothers, Saatchi and Saatchi got together. Clemett BBDO joined together. Ogilvy and Mather, two different surnames.
Right.
David Ogilvy, of course, everybody knows of. He's written lots of books and so on. So normally they were named after the people, which is an ego trip in itself, isn't it? To name an agency after yourself.
I know. That's pretty wild, isn't it? What did you ever watch the movie Collateral Beauty?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Very good, isn't it? And of course, I loved Mad Men, and I loved all of those sorts of Madison Avenue type shows, programs, and But it's interesting when I say I was doing advertising and branding and marketing since before the internet. Again, makes me sound very old, but I do have to remind myself my daughter is coming up to 25 years old, and I was definitely working in marketing before she was born. Before the internet, back in the day where it was, you had to get up and leave the couch to change channel on the TV. So sort of stuff.
We were the remote control.
We were. Yeah, youngest in the family normally. Whoever was kicked off the couch by dad, go change the channel. Yeah,
that's right. It didn't happen too often because we only ever had two channels. We only had the ABC and Channel 9 or something. I think it was. So Channel 9 and 7. Back in the day, Lauren Clemett. Back in the day.
That was in the day where kids, when we were told go to your room, you were in trouble. Whereas today, it's like, yes, please send me to my room.
That's right. So I can go and play on my phone or something.
Yeah. Just don't turn the Wi-Fi off.
That's right, exactly. Now, Lauren Clemett, talking about those days, we're talking, actually, before we even talk about those days, what does the word influence mean to you? We're going to talk about influence. How do you describe the word influence, pretty please?
I think influence to me means either changing somebody's opinion of something or their ideas around something so that they open their mind to something that might not have occurred to them before, having an influence over their decision making or their processing around a topic or a thing. I love the idea of, and I know this is bandied around all the time, that thought leadership. Everyone, I don't want to be a thought leader. But it does take the first impression of breaking someone's mind open to change or to something different or something outside the status quo for them to go, oh, I hadn't thought about it like that, for them to then consider even stepping outside of their comfort zone and doing something different. So that's influence to me. It's opening somebody's eyes to the possibility or potential of something different or new.
S- Beautifully put. Beautifully put. And I think the thought leadership piece is
Mm,
this preeminence. I think
mhm.
that's ultimate influence, when you
Yeah,
become that sort of that market leader to a degree. When someone
yeah.
thinks branding, they think Lauren Clemett, and that's thought leadership. And I heard it how would you describe thought leadership, Lauren? Have you ever sort of put a definition on that?
Haven't really. I mean, we talk about it a lot in our business
Mm,
because there's a lot of
oh,
people who've written books or they're
mm,
speakers or they're experts or professionals in their particular sector, and they
yeah,
want to be known as a thought leader. And there's lots
yeah.
of award categories out there for thought leadership in particular industries. So we're always thinking about that as a standalone category. But now that you mention it, I mean, thought leadership is really, it's so hard these days, isn't it, to come up with anything that's
No,
completely new or totally unique. I mean, chances are it's already been done before, right? It probably could just be tweaked or altered or joined with something else and made slightly better, either using AI or robotics or something to improve on it, right? So, thought leadership to me, again, is that ability to stand back from something and go, okay, how could this be improved? How could this be better or faster or more productive? Or maybe we should throw that out and have some completely new thinking because it's not working. I think probably I've come to that particular way of thinking because I'm married to somebody who's totally productive. And he was a mentor of mine when I first met him. He was my boss for a little while before we got together. Long story short, he never settles for, oh, it's okay what it is. It almost drives me insane. Sometimes I'm like, Graham, can you just calm down and let it be? You don't have to improve every single thing that we come across. But no, that's what he's driven to do. So,
I
yeah.
love it, Lauren. We had a podcast lady on our. She helps people get on big branded podcasts,
Yeah.
which is a really cool skill to have, I think. And her name is Shantae Micah, an amazing human.
Mm,
And Shantae described thought leadership as someone who's got what could potentially be thought of as new thoughts or rebranded thoughts, but packaged up into what she called a body of work that is uniquely theirs. And I
yeah.
thought, holy dooly, whether it's a book, whether it's a da-da-da-da-da, but like you said, improved thinking, like how do you,
Yeah.
I don't think anything's new. And I think when you package something up in an approved way, that becomes your body of work.
Yeah. Yeah,
Love that.
definitely. I know we talk a lot about this in terms of personal branding is the
Mm.
importance to find your thing, the thing
Mm.
you want to be known for, your IP, your knowledge, the way you package that up. In the Audacious agency, we talk about it as your UPP, your up. What lifts you up, right? It's your unique profile position. It's how you can be positioned in the minds of your audience or your sector or your industry uniquely so that you're known for doing that thing really well or being, as you say, a thought leader or a change maker in that particular thing. And I guess the overlay on top of, okay, the first point is what is your unique profile position? What's your thing? What's that, wrapping all that together into your unique approach and process? What's your UPP? And then adding awards to that just overlays it. And all of a sudden, you then have industry recognized leadership on top of you being an expert. So, just a nice way to add that third party credibility. Because sometimes it's all very great to say, hey, I've come up with this, I've got this unique approach, I think it's pretty cool. Look at these results I'm getting. But the minute you get that third party endorsement from the media or from a awards publication or a platform, it's just this instant tangible credibility. Yeah, that raises you up.
Tangible. I love
Yeah.
that.
That's why I like it. It's why it works so well, Anton.
Uh, So good. It's all
Yeah.
over our website, thanks to your help
Yeah.
and I can see all the awards behind you. Look at that. What a great you're a billboard. You're a
I've
walking
got
billboard.
myself organized. I even put together, I don't know if I can look, I've even got my pickleball and my bodybuilding medals are now
Oh,
organized as well because I was sick of them lying around gathering dust. So they're all up there
wow.
now, which is awesome.
Wow. That is such a cool wall. What
Yeah,
what an
yeah.
what an achievement wall though. Hey, how cool. That must be motivational for you. You get up each morning and you go,
I
wow,
do
look at
like
that.
walking into the office and going, right, I'm ready for another day though. But it's funny how it becomes contagious, doesn't it? And I know we've both talked about this before, how it gets to a point where it gets a bit old. It's like, oh, another award and so on. And it's funny, isn't it? You can very quickly, when you're on a roll, fall into that, oh, it's just another award.
Oh,
And because you're too close to it, you don't see the impact
mm,
you're having from a bigger point of
ah,
view. And I know for you, Anton, you're
yeah,
really, really well known in that leadership sector for talking about psychological safety and from your
mm,
journey and physical safety on the work site and so on. You're just so well known for that now because you've built that up, and you talk about it constantly, and you've
mm.
got awards for doing that. So it's very cool.
Thank you. Thanks, love. And next year we're going to rebrand a little bit and repivot. So we might be in contact. We're going to become an influencer on influence.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Why not?
Well, that's right. Why not? Why not? Because someone asked me one time, what's it like in the day of an influencer in DISC profile, DISC, the I
Yes.
stands for influence, and I'm
Yeah.
off the charts. And I said, I don't know. I'll go and ask a couple of hundred people and I'll come back to you and I'll tell you what they think. And so that's where influence all started. And we've actually had a video program, Leaders with Influence, for probably 5 years now. And, that sells occasionally, and there's 48 videos. We took body language and all that sort of stuff. And I sort of forgot that was kicking around in the background. I thought, shit, why aren't we doing some more in this space?
Yeah. And it is interesting, isn't it? Because influence, and when you think of an influencer, everybody thinks of
Yeah,
TikTok or Instagram as
yeah.
somebody who looks great and they're painting
Mm,
this fake impression of what it's like to be an influencer.
mm,
I'm sure your thinking around influence is much deeper than that. It's about the ripple effect and the impact that you can have and the change that you can create. And from your personal journey, it's about keeping people safe in work sites and
absolutely.
psychologically safe
Logically
leadership
safe.
and so on. All that sort of
Mm,
collaboration and so on, which comes out of being influential in your position as a leader. But it is a bit intangible, isn't it? Influence.
it
It's a bit
is.
ethereal. So it's nice that you're influencing their influences. That's very cool. I like that.
Thank you. I love that thoughts. I love listening to you think around that. Um, and if you look at the definition, it says something like to have an effect on the behavior, the character, or the development of someone or something, or the effect itself. And I thought, wow, to affect behavior, the character, or the development of another human. And that's powerful when you put it like that. And
Mm,
and that's probably leadership 101 too, Lauren. Like it's, influence and leadership. I always say it's really hard if I asked you to define influence, you'd probably give me a leadership definition, and a lot of people do,
mm,
and it's hard to
mm.
separate those. And I think
Yeah, absolutely. And I know, I mean, I grew up at a YMCA camp. So
oh,
I think I was 6 or 7 when we first moved to the at Camp Adair in Hunua, out in the bush, middle of nowhere in New Zealand. And every week of any school holidays throughout the year, 360 kids would arrive on buses on the Saturday, and they'd land on our back veranda basically, and our our where we were at the camp there, and they'd take over the camp for the whole week. And I was there in my formative years, so from about the age of 6 through to about the age of 13, 14, 15 years old. And what I learned about leadership was that it's a very organic thing. And if you can, the whole idea of leadership, isn't it, as you said just now, isn't to keep people where they are and to make sure that they're following the rules and that they're staying safe. And do you know what I mean? That's not the role of a leader. A leader is somebody who takes the people who are their charge and improves them and encourages them to grow and to move. In the camp situation, we would have kids that would come along to the camp from all sorts of different walks of life, some from quite affluent backgrounds, others from foster care, you name it. And they'd all be campers there. And some of them would go on to become junior leaders. So they'd be encouraged through and motivated through to as a 11 or 12-year-old, become a junior leader. So quite young, right? But to take on a bit more responsibility as the junior leader in a
mm,
cabin with, 8 kids, 2 leaders, a leader and a junior leader, and they would learn from the leader and so on and so. And then they would become a leader, and then they would become, more often than not, a staff member. Now, my dad was the director of the YMCA camp, Alan Cole, there for 9 years. And when he passed away last year, we went back to New Zealand to scatter his ashes at the camp and up in the bush and so on. And 2 of the leaders who'd become staff members, so they'd been there as kids, become junior leaders, then leaders and staff members. They came to celebrate his life and to join us in this crazy mad trek up through the bush, which took hours and bush crashing.
Oh,
And so exactly what my dad would have loved. And they talked about him and how if it hadn't been for his leadership, they probably wouldn't be where they are now. In fact, one of them said, I don't even know whether I'd even be here because had such a tough upbringing. And I really was a kid bound for a troubled life and getting in trouble with the law. And, I could have really messed up. And because of camp and because of that environment and that encouragement to take people from where they were and instill in them a sense of self-belief and self-confidence that they could become a leader themselves, they went on to do what they're doing. So leadership to me has always been about fostering other people's growth and not holding them back and not just making them accountable and responsible, but giving them wings. Do you know what I mean? Giving them that confidence to go, you know what? You can do this. You're off. You're ready. Away you go.
Fostering growth, give them wings. Lauren Clemett. That is such a great story. And you must be so proud of Dad, eh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, it was amazing. And living at the camp, I mean, you never think of it when you're a teenager and you hate your parents and all the rest of it, you never think of all that. But later on in life, definitely. And I see it now with the awards because when you talk about tangible outcomes and influence, when I see especially younger entrepreneurs or female entrepreneurs who don't have that self-confidence, when they put their hands on that trophy and lift it above their heads and give an acceptance speech, you physically see them grow. They stand up taller, they're more full of self-belief. There's tangible evidence that they've done something worthy of an award. Wow. And that self-belief just grows like that. And all that doubt and fear of failure and opinion of others and all that stuff just disappears because now they realise, there's more to it.
Wow. Geez, it must be nice being part of that journey, eh?
Oh, but we're so lucky. What we do with the Audacious agency is unbelievable. And seeing people grow and seeing their businesses blossom, and even the ones who all of a sudden, like you, they go, I need to rebrand because now I'm bigger than when I started. So I've had to evolve now. My business has got to evolve with me. That's pretty cool too.
Wow, thank you, Lauren. Amazing. So you've talked about who influenced you, which was probably Dad. So one of those people that did that, like that, who are you most proud of? Who have you influenced? Who wasn't going to put in for an award, or who's done something bigger than themselves?
Oh, the list would be endless of my clients. I mean, Farina Chen, who turned up purposely late to the Australian Small Business Champion Awards because she was worried that if she did win, she'd have to get on the stage to give an acceptance. So she didn't want to get there on time. So she was late and we had to go up and give her acceptance speech for her because she did win. But to her credit, she then came to New York with us. She got up on the Stevie stage, on a world stage, and sweaty palms and shaking like a leaf, but she still got up there and gave an acceptance speech. And now she's just full of confidence and doing amazing things to promote her business. But even really successful entrepreneurs like Fleur Madden, who she's built and sold, I think, 4 big businesses. And she's just done amazing things. She now helps other women scale their businesses to sell. She, when she was 15, went to New York and saw the billboards in Times Square and said to herself one day, I'm going to be up there. I'm going to be up there in lights. 15 she was. And last year, this November, just gone, she stood in Times Square in front of the billboard that we created for her and raised her trophies above her head. And just, she said it was just one of those bucket list moments. Here's a very, very successful woman who's now achieving a dream, that she saw she just knew she had to be there and she wanted to create this impact. So there's so many stories. I couldn't say which one I'm most proud of, although this year I'm probably most proud of my daughter for winning gold for Employee of the Year. She's our production manager and she just does amazing. She puts up with me to start with, but she does amazing things as our production manager, and to see her win a gold for what she does. Because so much of that work, and this is the other ones I love, is the awards for your team members or for volunteers, people behind the scenes who don't normally get noticed. That's really nice to see those people really recognised.
Beautiful. And for you to be the mother of the recipient as well, to know that you've raised a good human, this is like double double pat on the back for you. Isn't it nice when people
Yeah.
recognise your kids for what they've achieved?
Yeah, and I know your son came to one of the, awards events as well. It was so awesome to get to know Zach as well, and it is nice, isn't it? You just want self-confident, self-assured,
That's it.
happy children, and I think maybe if we probably both think of our clients like that as well, don't we? As
Yeah,
if
yeah, yeah, yeah.
good and you're independent and you're now able to look after yourselves, I've done
That's
my
it.
job right, so
Nice, nice, nice. I love it. Yeah. So, no, that's powerful. I love how you articulated that, and congratulations too, by the way, on all the stuff that you're doing.
thank you,
Um,
thank you. I think my most proud achievement personally is I'm just
yeah.
looking over there. Last year, I think I won 2 medals in pickleball. This year, I won 12. So that probably tells me 2 things: either I'm getting better at pickleball, which I doubt, or I'm just playing more regularly, and I'm skiving off from the office and going and playing pickleball whenever
No,
I can. So yeah,
congratulations. Now, you and hubby have found pickleball. I think it's one of the fastest growing sports, like
absolutely, yeah, yeah,
in the
yeah. So
entirety of the universe at the moment. What's
yeah.
so what's the appeal?
It's very easy to pick up. So it's easy to pick up, hard to master.
Uh,
My husband used to play a lot of tennis. I mean, he spent hours as a kid hitting tennis balls up against the side of a house. So
wow.
he's got that muscle memory. He just knows what to do, right? Plus, he can play with both hands,
Oh,
which is, he swaps paddles between hands and he hits between his legs and he does all the sort of stuff that no one else can recognize that he's doing. So very difficult to play for a start. I think the thing that I like the most, though, about pickleball is the fact that it's very, very community based. So you can pop along to any pickleball club anywhere and they will invite you to play. They'll encourage you to get better. They'll encourage you to play competitively. I play with so many randoms. I turn up at a competition, a tournament, and I've just put my name down and anyone will partner with me and I just have fun. So I think if you're not particularly into your racket sports and you don't have a background in that, like I don't, I did hockey and swimming. It's got no relevance at all to any sort of racket sports. Just go and have fun, run around, burn some calories, and enjoy yourself. If you've come from a racket sport, tennis, squash, badminton, table tennis, any of those, you'll do well at pickleball. You'll do amazing.
is that
Yeah.
right? Wow. And obviously this thing's competitive, Lauren.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. And I mean, it came from the States, but it's been around in Australia for a while. And I can't say no. So I'm
Yeah, of course.
obviously on the Pickleball Queensland board of,
On the board and all the stuff.
helping with their marketing. So
Yeah.
yes, it's got more members than table tennis already here in Australia. So I think table tennis has got about 20 or 25,000. We've got like 28 or 29,000, 30,000 members. But there are more people playing than members. So yeah, I encourage you, if you are playing
Yeah.
pickleball, make sure you
One
become a member. It's really important to
right.
be a member of your affiliate because then you've got more clout with what goes on with the future of
There
pickleball.
there you go.
All
One day. It's on the to-do list. I
of
keep
that.
seeing it.
Yeah, join a club and go and play. Have fun.
I like it. Keep you fit.
Yeah.
That's right. Um, and for anyone out there, let's jump off pickleball back to the awards behind you. For anyone out there thinking about, doing a business award, putting their business forward, what's
Mm.
your advice? What's your UPP?
Yeah. Okay. So I would suggest that for most people, the thing holding them back is what I call the itty bitty shitty committee, right? It's those inner critics in your head that are telling you you haven't done enough. You don't have the financials. You're nowhere near as good as your competition. You're getting a bit too big for your boots. Don't even try. So there's all those sort of internal voices, those chatter, those inner critics going on. What I would suggest is just tone them down a bit, replace your itty bitty shitty committee with a big bold board of brilliant directors, because if you just go and Google what awards are out there, you'll find that 90% of them don't even ask for financials. Most of them are looking at what your challenges are, how you're innovating and what you're doing differently. And as you say, the influence and the impact you're having. They'll judge you on that, not necessarily on your success. The judges know that entrepreneurship isn't like that, it's all over the place. Yeah, it's a roller coaster. So there aren't just awards for your industry either. If you're in real estate, yes, there are. Hello, there's an award for trench digging. There's an award for every single industry, right? But look outside of that, there's awards for women in business, there's international awards, there's local awards. Just start Googling and start looking at what's out there and start looking at the ones that are really well established. So Small Business Champion Awards are really good ones to get started on. They're 10 good questions. They're free to enter. Precedent Productions runs them very, very well. They're very integral in their judging. The Stevie Awards are international. They're like the Oscars of business. And every one of their programs, I think they've got 8 or 9 programs now for technology, service and sales, Asia Pacific, women in business, all these different programs. They each have about 130 categories. So there'll be a category in there that's perfect for you, whether that's, I don't know, Anton, you recently won a book award. Congratulations for your Able Book Award. Amazing. So there are categories for books, for podcasts, for programs, for coaching, for entrepreneurship, so just go have a look and see what's out there before you let that itty bitty shitty committee tell you you're not good enough, So
I love that. And full transparency, thank you so much for helping us win that book award. That was amazing.
Yeah.
Credit where credit's due. And what a
You
great
still wrote the book though, Anton. I didn't judge the book. You still wrote the book and it got judged by somebody else. So
that's well, you helped us write.
Easy part. We just did the submission.
You just believed in us, and that's important too. I didn't even know there was such a thing until you said,
and the Able Book Awards, and if you've experienced it as well, have a great platform for authors to really capture some great footage and headshots and all the rest of it. So, but yeah, quite often it's weird, isn't it? How it takes somebody else to nominate you before you start to see it in yourself. And that would be the other tip, is don't wait to be nominated. Go and find and nominate yourself. There's nothing wrong with nominating yourself for an award. If you've got something like a book or an innovative approach or a result, a case study, a client outcome that you've delivered that's been unbelievable, go and put it in for an award.
I love that. Back yourself, Lauren Clemett.
Yeah.
Be your own coach, be your own cheer squad, be your own pom-pom holders. Woo!
Yeah, no one's going to do it for you, in business. No one's out there doing it for you. You've got to do it yourself, for sure.
And there's plenty of people on the other side of the fence throwing stones.
Oh, yes. Oh, there's plenty of the haters out there. She's on the committee as well.
That's right. They're not just the itty bitty shitty committee.
Yeah, there's all of them. I've got all 10 of them. There's Tallulah Poppy. She's the imposter syndrome. I've got Frank, the treasurer, who he wants to count every single bean before you take any action, just in case you haven't done enough. Yeah, there's Mimi, who's all about impressing others and
right.
Wants to keep you safe and in the comfort zone. They're all there on the committee.
This sounds like multiple personality disorder to me in psychology.
Yes, well, it's all in the book, so that's all good.
Good. I love it. And hopefully that gets a good book award next year too.
Well, it's already up for awards, but it's definitely going into more, and it's become a keynote with some fabulous props. So yeah,
and we'll have 1 or 2 books up as well for next year for the award as well. So we'll be back to you before then. When are the Able Book Awards due, Lauren?
They're open at the moment. They won't close probably until the end of March, sometime in April maybe. Yeah. So you've got plenty of time to get those. And the cool thing about them is, with most book awards, they have to have been written in the last 12 to 18 months. With the Able Book Awards, you can have published it years ago and still put it up for an award. So no limitation.
Well, this one will be published within the next 3 months. So
brilliant. I'm excited. What's the new book called?
There's 2 of them coming. One is Find Your Influence, would you believe?
Yes. Yep.
And the other one we haven't quite decided on the heading of it, but we think it'll be something around leadership, languages and what that looks like. So
nice.
How to speak as a leader.
Yeah, so, brilliant.
I think we've got some, the care, the value, support. I don't know if I've told you about that model, and then the words of affirmation, then psychological safety. So I think we've got this really cool process for leaders to follow.
Brilliant.
And I think
so. It's a bit a bit like the love language, but for leadership. Acts of service. I love it. Leadership lingo. I like it.
Leadership lingo. Baby, leadership lingo. Now, you've got to go. You've got a 4:30. Very, very quickly. We're going to follow up. Could you introduce us to another great human, pretty please, who you think would be great, or a couple of great humans?
Absolutely.
Can you connect us? Pretty please.
Yeah,
that would be super.
There's loads of them. I will send you a long list of amazing humans.
Can you make a couple of email intros as well? Because that would help if that's okay.
Yeah, for sure. Too easy.
Lauren, you are a legend. We are so on time here at the Guinea Group of Companies and at Clemett and the Audacious Agency. Lauren's got a 4:30. We're going to value that. You've been amazing. Thanks, heaps, Lauren. Speak soon, love.
Cheers, Ed.
Thank you for listening or viewing our Find Your Influence podcast with Anton Guinea. Another great chat. Please be one of the 10% of people who follow and subscribe and like our videos, so that you can get more of them and you can hear more of our amazing conversations, the conversations that I get to have and that I get to share.